Could Moussa Diaby be on his way to Arsenal? Yes, people, iFootball, and welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. Since you're clicking on this, I'm guessing this is exactly what you want to see. So make sure you subscribe down below for 3,000 subscribers for daily Arsenal transfer news videos. Let's get straight into the tweet regarding Moussa Diaby, coming from Eduardo Hagen, saying Arsenal moved in recent weeks and are now in pole position to sign Bayer Leverkusen's Moussa Diaby, reports L'Equipe. And L'Equipe, to be fair with you guys, yeah, is a reputable source. Really good out of France. They produce a lot of stories regarding football, and most of them are pretty accurate. Now, this Moussa Diaby, this isn't new news. We know Arsenal always had an interest in Moussa Diaby, but to move into pole position is really interesting because it seems as though Arsenal are really starting to push the agenda and trying to sign Moussa Diaby. He's going to cost a lot of money. He's a really talented footballer out of Germany, French international, I believe, and Arsenal need to move quick on this. Now, I hear other clubs also interested, like Newcastle United, etc. You know, they've got a lot of money behind them with the Saudi Arabian ownership. But the thing is Moussa Diaby's is he really Arsenal's main signing for this summer? Because we're hearing Declan Rice, we're hearing Kai Havertz as well. Is Moussa Diaby the type of player Arsenal really need to bring in? We know he's a winger. We know he's talented as well. However, my thing is, right, I've always said the main positions Arsenal need to address is those midfielders. A CDM and a box-to-box midfielder. My two brilliant main signings I'd love to see, the brilliant players I want to see Arsenal bring in, would be Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo. It seems Arsenal pulled out the race of Moises Caicedo. I covered a whole story and that was absolutely distraught with that happening. Won those things. Instead, it seems Arsenal are going to pursue Declan Rice and also Kai Havertz as well. You know my thoughts on Kai Havertz as well. Check out my video yesterday if you want to hear all about that. Moussa Diaby is a winger, right? He's going to be very expensive. Is he that type of position we really need to bring a star player into? Because in my opinion, I like our attacking players as it is. I like the Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Saka. For me, I want to see a backup come in. A proper backup attacking striker or backup right winger. Someone like a plan B, for example, like Victor Gyökeres from Coventry City, for example. Just like a backup player like that. Not going to cost an awful lot of money, but someone that can add a bit of like an attacking squad player that can keep Saka on their toes, keep Jesus on their toes. So it's not just Saka being relied upon for 38 games in a season. I don't think Moussa Diaby, despite the fact I think he's going to be a really good player, I don't think he's the type of player Arsenal needs to bring. I don't think he's quality enough for the amount of money that you're going to have to spend on him. If you're going to spend that much money on a winger, which has been talked about with Diaby, around 70 million or so, I'd rather see us spend a little bit more and get someone like Rafael Leao or Kvara from Napoli, etc. Looking at Mitoma from Brighton. Those caliber type of players, you know, top quality players in that sense. Now, I know those players are probably not attainable. They're not going to leave their football clubs. But you get what I mean? I feel like Diaby, for the type of money you're spending on that type of player, I don't think he's someone that's really going to elevate Arsenal to that next level that we want to see Arsenal reach, which is competing with Man City with those top caliber players. Either way, it seems Arsenal have registered an interest in Diaby. As I've said before, right, guys, Arsenal have had an interest in a lot of players. You're talking about Diaby, you're talking about Ilkay Gundogan, Timothy Castagna, Ivan Fresneda. If you're looking at other players, example, like Kai Havertz, etc. A lot of interest in these players, but no concrete moves. I've said this before, I think we're really looking to complete this Declan Rice deal as soon as possible. Because once the Declan Rice deal is over the line, that's a massive roadblock for Arsenal. It's cost an awful lot of money. Declan Rice dictates our summer transfer window. He's equivalent to signing 3 players in terms of the money you're spending on Declan Rice, right? It's looking north of £100 million. Once that deal's over the line, it's like a massive avalanche, a massive barricade. And then once that happens, the floodgates will open and Arsenal can start to really look at other targets like Moussa Diaby, Kai Havertz, etc. So yeah, I really expect a lot of Arsenal progress happening in terms of other players to really ramp up once the Declan Rice deal is over the line. I really want to see Arsenal advance in this Declan Rice deal as soon as possible. Of course, I'll be covering Declan Rice news on this channel as soon as it happens. Make sure you subscribe to my bell notifications so you don't miss it. The second bid I expect to be absolutely imminent for Arsenal Football Club if it hasn't come out already. So yeah, I said Arsenal to really move fast on that one. After that's completed, then I'll really see Arsenal to look at other players as well. Because this is a summer transfer window. Arsenal really need to improve their whole squad, right? This isn't a Man City where they can just pick and choose the players they want to bring, like a Gvardiol or like a Kovacic, just to really sprinkle in talent. Arsenal really need to elevate their squad. We've got Champions League football next season. You're going to be playing important matches week in, week out. 2-3 games a week where it's not a case of rotating the squad. It's a case of playing the top players week in, week out. So we really need to bring this squad up. And if you're going to sell players like a Granit Xhaka, like a Balogun, etc., you're going to need to replace. Not just replace, but also improve upon them as well. So, yes, I think Arsenal are going to have to make a lot of big moves this summer. I expect a lot of outgoings as well. I've really heard someone like Ainsley Maitland-Niles leaving Arsenal yesterday. Massive respect to him. Been a brilliant servant for the club. I'm disappointed we've got no money for him. I mean, I look around the club, I look around the league at other players, right? I feel like Arsenal don't sell well. Other clubs, I feel like they get at least some kind of money for their players. Ainsley Maitland-Niles isn't a bum. He's not a bad footballer whatsoever. You can get a good 10-15 million for him. I'm absolutely convinced of it. So the fact we just terminated his contract, really poor move in my opinion. Edu, for all the players that he's managed to bring in, right, his selling is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible, man. I remember Bayer Leverkusen, we sold him for like 8 million. That's a £20 million goalkeeper at least you can sell for. So I want to see Arsenal sell players as well. Like Balogun, for example, looking like he potentially could leave. Inter Milan are interested. Get at least 45 million for that man. Come on, man. You can't just give away these players for nothing. So I want to see Arsenal sell players as well, because selling is a massive part that can help to shift up our transfer budget, because right now our transfer budget is sitting at around 150 million according to reports, but with sales that will be driven up to around 180 200 million potentially. So yeah, it's going to be a massive summer transfer window for Arsenal. It looking like we're going to get a lot of deals done over the line, hopefully, but it all starts with that Declan Rice deal. On the other side, this Moussa Diaby, it's nice to see Arsenal in pole position. It's nice to see where talking and potentially getting personal terms on the way to being agreed upon with the player. But for now, I don't think that's the type of player I want to really see Arsenal sign. Let's be completely honest about it. I think he's a good player, but I think it's an awful lot of money for a player that for me is unproven to an extent. I mean, look, Arsenal links to Kai Havertz, right? Kai Havertz came from Bayer Leverkusen as well. He was touted as a wonder kid. Came to Chelsea and he's done absolutely nothing at Chelsea. The only memorable game he's got, is the Champions League final against Man City. Sure enough, it's a good game to be memorable in, but you know what I mean? Other than that, he's done absolutely nothing. Diaby comes from Leverkusen as well. Now, I'm not just saying that German Bundesliga tax, coming from the Bundesliga, it's not going to be the same as coming to the Premier League. I get it, but just take it with a little bit of pinch of salt. Do you get what I mean? I think it's a lot of money to spend on Moussa Diaby. I think Arsenal got to position now because of the Champions League football we've got under our belt, because of how well we've done under Mikel Arteta. We don't need to take these type of risks in previous seasons, right? In previous seasons, because we haven't got Champions League football, we would have to take risks on these players that would every other day of the week go to a club that's in the Champions League. We've got the Champions League football now. We've got the ability to sign these top players. We don't even need to convince players anymore. They are begging to come to Arsenal Football Club. So this isn't a time to take risks on players like Moussa Diaby, on Kai Havertz. This is a time to really sign the top quality players that we know are going to improve our football club. No signing is a guaranteed going to game changer. There's going to be an element of risk with every signing, right? But you know, if you bring in Declan Rice, Moise Caicedo, there's going to be less risk than bringing in a player like Kai Havertz or Moussa Diaby, for example. Do you get what I mean? So for Arsenal, I like the fact that we're interested in these top caliber players, but I don't think it's the right type of signing to make right now. Just my opinion on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know. Definitely hit the bell notification if you're new around here. In terms of Arsenal transfer news going forward, the transfer window opened on the 14th of June a few days ago. I do expect transfer news to ramp up throughout the summer. We've got, of course, the preseason friendlies coming up. I also want to get these deals in before the preseason friendlies. I know, look, that's a massive plus point. I know in seasons before, Arsenal always wait till the last minute to get their signings over the line. And it's the wrong move, man, because the season starts. It takes them a while to bed into the squads. Look at last season, right? We got Gabriel Jesus, Alex Zinchenko done, Fabio Vieira done, well before the season started. Well before. So by the time the season started, they were all integrated in the squad and we hit the ground running on game one against Crystal Palace. So I'm hoping for something similar with Arsenal this season. Let's get Declan Rice over the line early, and after that, let's really start to look at these other top players, man. I want to see Arsenal renew our interest in Caicedo. No matter how unlikely it is, I'd love to see that player come to Arsenal. And other players as well, I'd love to see someone like Gundogan potentially come to Arsenal. But let's see what we can do, man. As always, if you love Arsenal transfer news videos, this is the place we make sure you subscribe down below for daily Arsenal transfer news on my road to 3,000 subscribers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on Moussa Diaby to Arsenal. Do you want to see this deal happen, or would you rather Arsenal target someone else? And as always, make sure you drop a like down below, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Take care.